Hi guys, this is Jesamine of Jesamine Creates. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing and watching this vlog and supporting my content. And today is again another sketchbook tour from Cobble Sketchbook with Fabriano paper V5 size. And this is a special sketchbook made for gouache and inked, but I use it also for charcoal and watercolor. So everything in one sketchbook. It's very exciting because this is the first time I'm making experiment with this. So have fun and don't forget to watch the end of this sketchbook tour because I'm showing you also a quick demo about my urban sketching with gouache. And the next page is actually urban sketching in Amsterdam with my friend and in Herengracht. And it was very nice to sketch there, but it was just too warm. But I really like the result of the sketch. Next one is with watercolor and ink. So I first do it with my fineliner, and then later on I color it with watercolor. So we're almost on the last page of the sketchbook. So most of these are made with gouache and inked and fineliner. It's because this sketchbook is made for that. I love working with gouache on this one because the paper surface is smooth and I can easily glide my brush through it without a problem with sketchy look or dry brush look, and which is also fine, by the way, but I like to do a dry brush look after I already put all the things in place. So the big shapes is already there, then I like to use dry brush. But yeah, I enjoy working with gouache. And back to urban sketching with gouache, by the way, some people don't like to use gouache for urban sketching, mainly because of the quality of gouache is more non-permanent. It's matte, a bit chalky. But if you like opacity of gouache, this is the best medium to try with, because also if you want to go straight to sketching but also look like a painting thing, then I think it's also nice to try on with gouache. So here, when I work with gouache, I first make a rough sketch like you see it here, and I don't really focus on details yet, only some shapes from my subject, and I'm gonna show you later on what I'm working on. So at the end of this video you will see the background or the subject that I'm sketching. So here you will see it, that I'm only sketching it with my pencil, just some part that I want to paint, but not really details. You don't know yet what it is, but it's more like a form. In my head, I already knows what color I'm gonna put there. So here, the process here is the first layer, I need to put some underpaint. So depends on what I like. So here I think I'm using yellow ochre and burnt sienna. That's the mixing I have here. So I leave it dry first, but not entirely dry, just enough to put some layer on top. And the second stage is actually my gouache with a lot of water, but not a lot, just enough, maybe let's say like 50% water and 50% gouache. Some people don't really do it like that, but I like to do it like this, just more water first, and just to look first how it looks like when I block in everything. So here I'm blocking in every elements I'm gonna use on my sketch. So you don't know yet what's I'm sketching here on this stage. It's just a color, pure color with green, with something gray there in the middle, and something part on the left with brown long shape, and you know, it's more abstract on this stage. And it's because I don't want to focus on details, but I already setting out all the materials that I need on this painting. So just doing something like that, playing around. You can do it with gouache, which is good, and you cannot do it with watercolor, because if you do this kind of thing in watercolor, I think you might get a mess. So it still depends on how you work with watercolor, or what is your experience with watercolor. But I think it's a challenging for a beginner to, if you get used to watercolor and you want to switch to gouache, you have to think a little bit different here, because here the nice things with gouache is that you can also work from dark to light or from light to dark, and if you have mistakes you can correct it with gouache. You can just put layer of color on top of it and you're done, you're safe. So here I'm already doing adding some shapes, a little bit of details, but not entirely yet. It's more like a form, and that is just a long stroke what I'm doing there, but you don't know yet what that is. So here I'm adding those things on this stage, and then I'm adding already the floor, otherwise it looks like it's floating. Actually, when I'm looking on this one, I think I also made some mistakes. Like for example, what I'm doing here, I'm already putting dark part on my sketch. It's nice to show it here, so you also know that if you have some mistakes, you can always correct it in the end. And here, these lines that I'm adding there, I just don't understand what it is. It's because I also don't know what I want to show there, and it's not sure for me how to show this on how to show this interesting on my sketch. I even add some lamp here in the middle, but I also make it a color of muddy because I'm not sure yet if I really like it there or not. So I'm just doing it like that. It's nice to show you this, guys, because to give you, for you also to give a chance to work with gouache, because gouache is very friendly medium to practice with your painting and also just sketching. So here I'm adding the color of the floor, and here I have dark gray color because our floor here is dark gray on that side, but once it hits the light it looks like taupe color. And when I added that, I already immediately see the connection between the main subject, which is those green, black thing there, blue thing, connected to the floor, but the background not yet. So the right side is still not yet connected with the rest of it, so I'm gonna work it out later. Okay, now I added already some part of the right side floor or left side of the floor, so it's a little bit lighter than the normal, than usual. And I also have a mistake here because I don't really mix my color in advance, so I have struggled with my color. So this is the third part of my sketch. So the first one was more like diluted water with gouache, and then the second part is more with gouache than with water. And then here I already made an abstract, and the fourth part is I already use a thinner brush, and I'm already focusing on details. So I also tone down some part of it and also give details on some part. So this is how I work with gouache, and if you really like to do that kind of thing, try to use with gouache. This is a short version, but if you like to see the long one, the long version, I will upload it next week. So I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel to see that. I didn't add it here because otherwise it's gonna be too long. And I hope you like my sketchbook tour and also a quick demo here. So would you like to give gouache a chance? Would you like to try to use it outdoor? Or you want to stick with the ink and watercolor? So finally I finished the sketch. It took me 2 hours to finish that one. Here it is. I hope you like it, and see you again next time. Bye. So I'm not gonna show you the background because it's too messy. Maybe a little bit. There you are.